stereotype bucket did you fit in? Or maybe not. Were you the jock? Were you the nerd? Were you the brainiac? Were you the Romeo? Were you the... I don't know. Tell me. Paint that picture for us a little more.
I think, this now makes sense to me when I'm older. I think I have an unusual outcome because I think it was a little bit interesting. Like, right around 4th or 5th grade, from the jock standpoint, was when I transitioned from wanting to be on the New York Jets to thinking about buying them. So,
what age was that?
That was about 10, 11, about 12. Because, 7, 8, 9, I have such remarkable hand-eye coordination that I was able to dominate 1st and 2nd grade. But somewhere around 4th and 5th grade, things changed a little bit. You had to actually be strong and fast and athletic and all these other things. I'm like, uh-oh, this might be a problem. I was really a bad student. Like, by 4th grade, I know I had to actually ask my high school to send me the report card because my mom changed the story in her mind and decided I was a C student. But by 4th and 5th grade, I started getting a lot of D's and F's. And that was actually extremely challenging. I had a lot of teachers and a lot of my friends' parents really communicate to me in an incredibly negative way because of my grades, right? Like, I remember, for the people over 45, you might remember this. For the kids, this might be a reference that doesn't land, but for some reason in the late 80s, early 90s, the way they tried to scare you, and I feel terrible for people in the sanitation business, but the amount of teachers that told me I was going to end up being a garbage man was like staggering. It was like an everyday barrage. But for me, this is why I love entrepreneurship. Sports started to tell me I wasn't good enough, right? And that was a very early 1st, 2nd grade dream. My teachers were definitely telling me that I wasn't good enough. That started bleeding into my friends' parents having comments and snarky comments. But the 2 places that always told me I was good enough was home and business, right? Like when I started selling baseball cards in 6th grade, I was the best at it. I was the best at business. So the reason I love the market and the world is the world's always been good to me. It's always told me that I was good. Right? And so I think a lot about positive affirmation. I think a lot about the parents in this room that have kids, and I think a lot about what do they tell their kids? Meaning, what are they cheering for? Right? For me, that's a very interesting game. I struggle with cheering for things that are very transactional. I fear that. I fear that it makes our kids robotic. And it makes them every 90 days, and it makes them robots. And I think we struggle as society to understand creativity, to understand different. And I got very fortunate, I think. And I'll tell you another thing. What I really think my mom drilled, which is a super challenge, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not great at it as a parent, was she made me not think my grades were a reflection of who I was going to become. But she held me accountable for having bad grades. To find the balance of making me believe that these bad grades would not define me, but also grounding me every 3 months when my report card came home, is a very fine tightrope that I think every parent here can understand is almost impossible. Like, I really struggle to see it, because I think we go too far in any direction, and so he was gonna win the world, nobody was gonna stop him, and he lived in his own cocoon. I lived in my own head.